topic is priority scheduling. So, as the name suggests, we schedule the process which is having highest priority. Okay? Each and every process is having its own priority. See, each process has its own priority, and we have already discussed in the previous lecture FCFS scheduling and SJF scheduling. We can say that in those two types of scheduling, FCFS and SJF, we can say those type of scheduling are also one type of priority scheduling. Why so? Because in FCFS, we scheduled the process which comes first. Okay, in first come first serve, the process which is arrive at the ready state first, CPU would be allocated to that process at first time. So, in FCFS scheduling, we give prior to the arrival time. Okay, so we can say FCFS is one type of priority scheduling, and in such scheduling, if we give priority to the arrival time, we can say the priority scheduling is as same as FCFS, and if we give prior to the burst time, then we can say the priority scheduling is as same as SJF scheduling, because in SJF scheduling we give priority to the burst time. We schedule the process which is having highest priority out of all available process. In ready state, out of all available process, we schedule the process which is having highest priority. See, out of all available processes, highest priority process gets the CPU. Okay, so we have to check out how many processes are there in the ready state. Those available processes in the ready state, we have to pick up the process which is having highest priority. So next, if two processes are having the same priority, then what will happen? So if two processes in the ready state which is having same priority, then we have to follow the first come first serve scheduling algorithm. Okay, so if tie, then use first come first serve, simply first come first serve algorithm. If that two process is having same arrival time, then what will happen? If two processes having same priority and having same arrival time, then we have to schedule the order of writing the process. If P1, P2 two process, P1 and P2 is having are having the arrival time 0, 0 and priority 1, 1, then we have to schedule the order of writing the process. First P1, then P2. Priority is two types. First is static priority and second is dynamic priority. So what is static priority? Static priority means the priority of that process does not change throughout the execution of that same process. Okay, that is called static priority. Static priority means the process is having the priority and that priority does not change till its termination. But dynamic priority means after some times it will change. It change after some time. So that is dynamic priority. Throughout its execution, the process changes its priority. Fine. Next is priority scheduling. This type of scheduling is two versions. Two versions of scheduling are there. First is non-preemptive and second one is preemptive version. And the currently running process will stop its execution and it go to the block state. After some time, it again resume its execution. Okay, context switching is happening in the preemptive cases. Okay, so in preemptive cases, we forcefully remove the process from the CPU based on some priority. Fine. So this is all about the priority scheduling. So you will more clear about that by doing some numericals. So we took this type of numerical, priority scheduling numericals, and we will solve this numerical using the priority scheduling of non-preemptive version. So two types of version are there, that is non-preemptive and preemptive version. In the next class, we will discuss the preemptive version of this priority scheduling algorithm, and in this class, we will discuss the numericals using the non-preemptive version of priority scheduling. Okay. So see this table, 7 processes are there and priority of each and every process is given, and arrival time of each and every processes are given and burst time are given. Okay, so we solve this numerical using the priority. Okay, and the extra thing is given is that is lesser the number, higher the priority. What is this? So how do we know which process is having highest priority? So that is the extra thing, lesser the number, higher the priority. So we have to check which process is having highest priority. So P7 is the highest priority, and see the highest number is 6. So P6 is the lesser priority. So highest the number, process the priority is lesser, and lesser the number, priority is higher. So do not fix this concept to your mind all the time. So maybe there may be given like this, higher the number, then lesser the priority. So draw the Gantt chart. So CPU time will start from 0. Don't jump to the priority directly and check out the process which is having highest priority. So here P7 is the highest priority, 1, then we put the P7 into the Gantt chart first, and the burst time of the P7 is 1, then we have to execute this P7 from 1 millisecond. Do not do that types of things. Okay, this is wrong, because maybe the P7 is highest priority, but the arrival time of that P7 is 10. So I already said, that out of all available process, the processes which is in ready state now, those processes, among those processes we have to schedule the process which is having highest priority. At 0 millisecond, P7 has not come yet. So at 0 millisecond we have to check the arrival time first. How many processes are there in the ready state at the time 0? So check out, at time 0, P1 is there now in the ready state only. So we have no choice, we have to schedule this P1 first, as the priority of this P1 is 3 and this P7 is highest priority than P1, but we have to schedule anyhow. Okay, because arrival time of the P1 is 0. So how many time it will execute in the running state? So check out the burst time. The burst time is 8. P1 will execute in running state, and after the 8 millisecond it will be terminated. So now P1 is done, because this type of version is non-preemptive. We cannot forcefully remove P1 till its termination, and the burst time of that P1 is 8 milliseconds. So till 8 millisecond we cannot schedule any processes during its execution. Okay, now P1 is done at 8 milliseconds. Okay, check out, at 8 milliseconds how many processes are there in ready state. So check out the arrival time. So see in ready state the arrival time is 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in ready state P2 is there, P3 is there, P4, P5 and P6, and P7, still P7 is not there in the ready state. Okay, P7 will come at 10. Okay, so we have 5 processes available now. So out of all available processes, we have to schedule the process which is having highest priority. So check out, among P2, P3, P4, P5 and P6, which is having highest priority? So lesser the number, higher the priority. So write down P5. Check out the burst time of the P5, 6. So we can write at 14, P5 is done. P5 will be terminated. Okay. So next, before putting another process to the Gantt chart, to the running state, check out, is there any processes which is arrived in the ready state during at the time 14? Yes, P7. Here P7 now in the ready state, and P7 is having highest priority. So we have to put P7. Okay. For how many millisecond? Burst time is 1. So at 15, P7 is done. As the arrival time of the P7 is 10, sometimes there is time 10, P7 is arrived, but the priority of the P7 is 1. So we schedule that process to the running state. Okay. So at time 10, all the processes are in ready state. So there is not necessary, no need to check the arrival time again and again. So we can at 15 millisecond, we can, out of all available process, we just have to check the priority of that process. So check out the priority, okay, out of all available processes. So now, now P1, P5, P7 are done, are terminated, and now there are P2, P3, P4 and P6. Here 4 processes are there, and check out the priority which is having highest priority. So among 4, 5, 6, 4 is lesser. Okay. So P2, P3 are having highest priority, but there is a tie. So if there is a tie, then we apply first come first serve scheduling algorithm. So check out the arrival time. If we apply FCFS, we have to check out the arrival time. So which is come first? P2 is come first. Arrival time of the P2 is 1. Arrival time of the P3 is 3. So we scheduled P2 first. For how many time it will execute in the CPU? For 2 milliseconds. 17. After that, we scheduled P3. Check out the burst time, 4, that is 21. So P2, P3 are done at 21 milliseconds. Next priority is among 5 and 6, 5 is highest priority. So we scheduled P4 for 1 milliseconds, that is 22. P4 is now done, and final P6 is there in the ready state. We have no choice, we have to schedule P6 right now. Okay. So P6 is the lowest priority, and we scheduled P6 at last for 5 milliseconds. So 22 plus 5, 27. Okay. So this is the Gantt chart of this numerical, this non-preemptive version of this priority scheduling. Okay. So at CPU time 27, all the processes are terminated at time 27. So now the time to find out the completion time, turnaround time, waiting time, response time, and the average turnaround time, average response time. Okay. Next is completion time. So you have to check from right side, right corner. Okay. See, for P1, what is the completion time of the P1? At 8 millisecond, P1 is completed. So completion time of the P1 is 8. For P2, that is 17. For P3, 21, and the completion time of the P4 is 22, and next is 14. For P6, that is 27, and for P7, the completion time is 15. Fine. Okay. Next is turnaround time. So turnaround time is completion time minus arrival time. So find out, just calculate the arrival, calculate the turnaround time. For P1, completion time minus arrival time, 8 minus 0, that is 8, 17 minus 1, 16, 21 minus 3, that is 18, 22 minus 4, that is 18, 14 minus 5, that is 8, 27 minus 6, that is 21, 15 minus 10, 5. Next is waiting time. Waiting time, that is turnaround time minus burst time. Okay. So calculate for P1, waiting time would be turnaround time minus burst time. Okay, 8 minus 8, that is 0. 16 minus 2, 14. 18 minus 4, 14. 18 minus 1, 17. 8 minus 6, 2. 21 minus 5, 16. 5 minus 1, that is 4. Next is response time. Response time for P1, C at time 0, P1 is allocated to the CPU at 0 and the arrival time of the P1 is 0. So it had not to wait for any time. So P1 no need to wait. So waiting time of response time of P1 is 0. And next for P2 at 15, don't take this 17. This is the completion time and this is left side, this is the response time, that is the time when the process is assigned to the CPU. The 15 is the time when P2 is assigned to the CPU and the arrival time of the P2 is 1. So 15 minus 1, that is 14. And for P3, 17 minus 3, that is 14. For P4, 21 minus 4, that is 17. For P5, 8 minus 5, that is 3. And for P6, 22, for P6, 22 minus 6, that is 16. And for P7, 14 minus 10, that is 4. So we also discussed the non-preemptive version of the algorithm and we also know in non-preemptive the waiting time and response time would same. Okay, see 0, 0, 14, 14, 17, 3, 16, 4. So waiting time, response time are same in non-preemptive. Okay, and I hope you all find out the average turnaround time and average waiting time, response time. Just add this turnaround time, and divided by the number of process, that is 7, and this sum of this waiting time divided by 7 and the sum of the response time divided by the number of process. Okay. So that's all in this video. This is the type of non-preemptive priority scheduling. In the next class, we will discuss the preemptive version of priority scheduling. Till then, take care, bye bye.